Hello, this is Steven Stats. Steven is an experienced biostatistician. He and his team design clinical studies from the biostatistical point of view. They select the best study design that's able to show when as less as possible or as many as necessary study patients should be included in a clinical study to generate a valid result which reflects the new products as helpful and safe. Typically, Steven was involved at the beginning of clinical studies and at the end when all the data collected were to be analyzed according to a predefined statistical analysis plan. Sometimes the studies allowed an interim analysis which also required his involvement in the middle of a trial. However, this did not happen very often as an interim analysis tended to increase the number of required patients, which was also very unpopular. Everything that Steven does is based on numbers and facts, which is important as his emotions or interests must not have an impact on the study results. His colleagues from the clinical monitoring team work very differently. The main job is quality control, which means they review study data. Steven always felt extremely sorry for his colleagues as he considered the data review process at the study sites and huge patient records like finding the needle in a haystack. The needles were either data errors or more often data inconsistencies. However, they were not only responsible for one haystack but for several haystacks at different study sites and countries. With every on-site visit, their search would start from scratch. What's worse is that after spending hours or even days finding the needle, usually in more than 90% of the cases, the data inconsistencies had no impact on the study analysis for which Steven was responsible. Hence, Steven's colleagues worked like ants on several anthills around the globe and searched for the needles in the haystack, for which sponsors paid millions of dollars that could be used in other more useful processes in clinical research. Due to this, Steven decided to support the clinical monitoring team with his expertise. He and his team provide statistical monitoring services to clinical operation teams to make them more cost-effective. Firstly, Steven knows from the statistical analysis plan exactly what data are relevant for the study analysis and what are critical in terms of safety and efficiency. Secondly, all these relevant data are collected during the course of the study electronically. The biostatistical team just needs to write statistical programs to identify which of these relevant data behave suspiciously in comparison to the expectations of data of other patients, study sites, or study countries. The clinical monitoring team is very happy as they finally know where to start searching for the needle in the haystack. They know where the needle could be as the biostatisticians continuously provide them with information on the exact location of potential data discrepancies. Think of it like a navigation system in a car. The clinical monitors can now directly review these data and discuss them with the investigators. Not all data that look suspicious are incorrect, but it's extremely useful to discuss them with the medical doctors to make sure that these are valid. The investigators appreciate these fruitful discussions as they can easily see when certain data deviate from those of several study patients and should be in that case be confirmed, explained, or corrected. The scientific value of statistical monitoring is understood by everybody. Statistical monitoring is a modern, scientific, and very cost-effective way of collecting better clinical study data. When will you transition to centralized statistical monitoring?